Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
All right, ready? Let's go.
Duh.
Episode. Really? You had to fucking say something right as I'm starting?
It
Really?
was clear. I
Right
would
as
have
backswing.
edited it out. You're fine.
You're right in my
Duh.
backswing, motherfucker. But that happened. Oh, I played golf on Saturday, motherfucker.
Start the
I'll
show.
tell the story when we get started.
Start the show.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Episode 144, Friends of Bibles podcast coming at you live and hot. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Harkness, joining me each week.
Duh. It's Steven Wojtowicz.
It's Bill Fougere. Happy episode 12 squared, everybody.
Right on time, Nick Larita.
Nerd.
Fucking math jokes, really.
Nerd.
Math jokes.
What?
Great.
It
Great.
wasn't really a joke. It was an equation.
Bill, that joke is gross.
You're so cute.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
All right. We are
All right.
10 days away from the trade deadline in the NHL, one of the more popular days in the NHL. And I can't fucking wait till it's over. Holy shit. I love this time of the year, but I fucking hate, now that we do a podcast, I fucking hate this time of the year. Because
Because of all
right
the
now
rumors.
and we're just in that waiting period right now. We need one domino to drop, and then they're all going to start to drop. And it's
That's
just
how-
like, but
That's how dominoes
I know.
typically work.
yeah, I know. That's why I said.
If they're set up
But-
correctly.
But last year we had more trades leading up to the deadline. No, there was definitely more deals on deadline day, but there was a lot of deals leading up to the deadline last year, as opposed to this year where it's been pretty stale, and we just need something to happen. So we're gonna take the top 10 of the trade deadline targets, and we're gonna tell you where we think they're gonna go. So we are going to, in no particular order, mind you. These are more my top 10 than anybody else's. There's a couple of guys who were not on the actual top 10, but I put them there anyway. And we're gonna throw a couple of surprises for you at the end. I got a couple little surprises for you that have popped up recently. So let's start off and let's talk about the Calgary Flames. And in fact, the Calgary Flames got the top 3 on my list.
Everyone's
But let's start with
up on the trade block in Calgary.
almost literally, and they're like 5 points out of a playoff spot, but that might be too much to overcome in the Western Conference. But let's start with Noah Hannafin. Noah Hannafin. And listen, the reason why these 3 are on the top 3, in my opinion, is because 32 Thoughts won't stop fucking talking about Canada. They won't stop talking about Canada and all the Canadian teams and what they need to do. Sometimes it drives me nuts. I wish there was an American-based hockey program that was very legit.
Hey, Dick.
No. We're not very legit. Hold on, calm down.
You're listening to it, bud.
Why did I do show prep? You're not legit.
Noah Hannafin's destination will be
Steve's putting on his New Jersey Devils cap.
the New Jersey Devils.
Are you kidding me? Why in the hell would the Devils take on anybody right now?
Yeah,
That's all right.
He's what they need.
Well, is
Well,
Dougie
he's coming
Hamilton
back.
ever
Deal.
coming back?
A deal, huh?
Is Dougie Hamilton ever coming back?
Second round of the playoffs at the earliest, I believe, is what they say.
I think that's what you go for then. Yeah.
He's exactly what they need. This deal should have been done weeks and weeks ago.
Okay. So what? So are they?
All right.
Is the plan to have him re-sign him? I mean, he's gonna get a ton of money, right?
I mean, I don't care about next season. I care about this season.
Okay. All right. Just asking.
Got to get.
So I did see a report, and is that, and I don't know how much we covered this. My memory is shit these days, but there was a report that the last year the Devils made more on the gate for the playoffs. It was something outrageous that they made for the playoff gates last year. So I have to think that they want to get that money again for people buying tickets to Devils playoff games.
And really, what was it? It was the first round and then 2 games because they got swept in the second round. So
yeah, but apparently they made a shit ton of money. So if I'm the Devils and I'm 5-6 points out, might as well go for it and try to get that gate. So I wouldn't believe you, and I would make more fun of you, but I'm on board with what you're thinking. All right, Nick, where do you think he's going?
Where I think he's going. Honestly, I'm not sure. I was gonna say Boston because they seem like a team that it seems like a team that, I know Billy's favorite team, that could maybe benefit from him and could try and make a push. I don't know. It's hard to say. He's got to go to a contender. I mean, I don't see him going to like the Rangers or something.
No.
I don't really understand the Devils if he does go there. Mostly because of reasons I'll talk about later in the money talk section. But
foreshadowing, baby.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he could go to a team that's gonna obviously overpay for him. But will he resign? It depends on the team, right? Obviously they're gonna want to. But I mean, he's gonna sign for a lot of money. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be what, 8-year deal probably somewhere. So that's gonna be, you gotta be prepared to have a 35-year-old on your left wing or left-handed defenseman. 6'3", does everything. He's prime, great player. That's all really good. But it's gonna be it's gonna be one of those guys that's gonna be.
All right.
Nick
was very specific when he says he's going to a contender. Way to be specific, Nick. Well done.
He's going to a contender, but not the Rangers. So I guess the Rangers are a contender, and Nick's
awesome job. Is that what you're going with?
I said Bruins.
We're going to Boston. Billy, where's he going?
I'm going with the Devils also. With Dougie Hamilton out as long as he has been. I mean, you look at the Devils, the big difference what's the difference between them last season and this season? I know Hughes has been out for extended time too, but like defensively, they're shaky. And I think they missed Hamilton more than maybe certainly than I anticipated. And I think if they want to close that gap, they gotta go get a rock steady defenseman. I like the Devils for that deal.
I'm under the same kind of thinking, but different team, of a team that has lost a defenseman in Sergachev, and I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to go out and maybe overpay for Noah Hanifin, and he'll kind of fill that void for Sergachev going into the playoffs for them. So I like the Tampa Bay Lightning for Noah Hanifin. Moving on to another player, and this is, I believe this is the only goaltender on our list, in Jacob Markstrom. There was tons of reports out there that he doesn't want to play New Jersey, and can you blame him, everybody?
That's not true. He's willing to waive his no trade deal, and I have a feeling
he doesn't want to go there.
We're going to see him in black and red and white. I think he's going to be a New Jersey Devil as well.
Are the Devils going to trade for everybody on this top 10 list? Is that the idea so far?
Go through the list and we're going to find out.
Jesus Christ. Nick, where's he going?
Which guy was this? Tanev?
And Jacob Markstrom.
Jacob Markstrom.
But thanks for paying attention.
I was distracted, guys.
You were on fire. You were on fire to start this program.
I actually have him going Devils. That's where I figured he was going to go. I don't see where else he can fucking go. It's Markstrom. Like, they need a goalie. They're going to overpay for him.
2 for 2.
And they're going to panic. They're going to panic super hard. Send everything they can, first round picks and God knows what. I I think that's where I think he's going to end up. But we'll see.
Bill, is it
Well,
going to be a
where
hat
they-
trick, a trifecta?
Where do they need a goalie? They need him in obviously in Edmonton and Philadelphia. Those two teams are too stupid to ever do anything about it. It's going to be the Devils.
Wow, even Bill is saying the Devils. This will not be the Golden Sombrero. I have Jacob Markstrom going to the Carolina Hurricanes.
Is it at least a golden shower?
Well, yes, we could do that. Anytime we get 3 teams for 1 player, we will now dub it the Golden Shower. I like that. Jacob Markstrom, you get the Golden Shower, my friend. All right. And look, I just think goaltending was their big problem in last year's playoffs and the year before that. And I don't think that Freddie Anderson is the answer, nor do I think that their backup boy or the younger guy that they have, who the names slip my mind. But I think Carolina needs to really address that and get a real rock solid goaltender. If they do, they're going to be even more scary in the playoffs. Number 3 on the list is Chris Tanev, another defenseman in Calgary. Steve, is he going to the Devils?
No. You can't add 2 players at the same position. I think that's just silly. Gonna go. This has got a Toronto written all over it.
Ooh.
I just feel like they like getting those experienced players with playoff pedigree, in hopes that one of them will eventually push them over the line.
I thought he was a defenseman. This guy's a defenseman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toronto doesn't.
It's
get
not.
defensemen.
No,
Well,
no,
we
no.
know-
It's
no,
not
no.
Brandon Tanev.
I understand they don't understand that you need defense and goaltending, but this just screams like a player they would get.
Well, they got Giordano 2 years ago, so they get defensemen at the deadline. It's not like they never do.
But
Nick?
they get defensemen who might be just beyond their productive years.
Yeah, that's why they're going to get Sean Walker.
I'm going to go with Golden Knights. I think Vegas will make a little bit of a splash and try to get some short up. I mean, they're reigning champs, So I mean, they can, they're still there. They're not top dogs in the Pacific or or that matter the whole even the whole West. But I mean, hey, they get in the playoffs, they're dangerous. They know how to win, and maybe just get a push. Defensively sometimes is more important. Defensive championships, why not?
Yeah, and they're at the point now in their season where Vegas is going to throw everybody on LTIR until the end of the season, so they could technically go out and get Tanev right now. Bill, where's he going?
I like him to go to the dreaded Philadelphia Flyers. Fuck the Flyers.
Fuck the
them.
Flyers.
And I know the Flyers said that they're not necessarily buying right now, but the Penguins did take Drysdale and knock him the fuck out of the season in their last game. So they might need a defenseman.
I like Chris Tanev going to the Dallas Stars.
That's a good one.
It seems like he fits and he would bolster that back end quite well. So I like the Dallas Stars. Number 4 on the list is Jake Gensel.
Yes,
Gensel?
my favorite.
So he is, I believe, the only one out of any one of our teams to actually make this list. So Bill, I'm going to start with you. Where is Jake Gensel going?
Oh, we're going out of
And you,
turn?
okay. By the way, staying is always an option. You don't have to say this person's going to be traded. You can say he's staying and not getting traded too.
I could say that, but it's a distinct possibility, but I am very much hoping that's not the case. Not that I don't love Gensel, but he does not want to be, he's kind of intimated he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. And I don't think there's any other thing coming to Pittsburgh. So, if they don't trade him, then they lose him to free agency. So I'm thinking this is the kind of player. He was leading the Penguins in scoring when he got hurt. This is a big piece. This is a piece that gets you over the hump or gives you the competitive edge. I think this goes to not just a playoff bubble team. I think it goes to a Stanley Cup contender. I think the best fit would be the Vancouver Canucks, who are a young team who could use that leadership. They're near the top of the league, top of the standings. They're right there with the Rangers and Bruins and everything. I think he's a good fit to give them that leadership, a lot of scoring punch on the wing, which they could also use.
Could they afford him? I know they made the big splash
him.
earlier. Yeah, no, I guess you're right.
I think we got to take
that goes out
salary
the
cap
window.
out of the
Yeah.
equation for this whole. Yeah,
I would agree. Nick Gensel.
Same put. I don't think he's going anywhere. I know it's kind of boring, but I don't know. The injury thing seems like they want for him.
Well, he was skating on his own today. I saw that report.
Yeah,
So he's going to start. By the time this Western trip is over, he'll be back in skating. So that brings him into early to mid next week, right before the deadline.
Yeah, they could definitely get something big for him, but I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird spot they're in. I feel like I just don't know. I don't know what to do with if the Penguins are. I don't know what they're going to do. It's just very strange. I'm just deciding how they're going to go.
I'm with Nick. I agree with you. Steve, where's he going?
I think he's going out west. I like him going to Vegas.
Ooh, Vegas for Steve. Yeah. I do agree with Nick that I don't know which direction Pittsburgh is going, but if they are going to trade him, which I think they're going to do, I also have him going to the Vegas Golden Knights. This is the perfect guy for them. Yeah. And with salary cap considerations and everybody on LTIR until the end of the season, he slides right in and really solidifies that lineup until the playoffs, and then they become overbearing.
And they would be smart enough to get him out of the East, get him over to the West.
Yep, 100%. You don't want to trade him to the Rangers. You sure as shit don't want to send him to Boston. So getting him out west is certainly the right move. Adam Henrique from the Anaheim Ducks. Steve, where's he going? I'll say the Devils.
No, this one I don't really have a feel for. I would love to have him back. He would slide perfectly right into that third or fourth line center, that Travis Zajac role at this stage of his career. I'm saying he doesn't really go anywhere just because. No, he's got to go somewhere. They're not going.
He's got to go. He's going somewhere.
Maybe he'll go to Vancouver. Again, no, he doesn't have much playoff pedigree. He doesn't have much history in the playoffs. Given his time,
last goal was against the Rangers in 2012.
Given his time in New Jersey and Anaheim, but I think they'll. I'm going to say Vancouver.
All right, Nick. Adam Henrique.
I got the Avalanche taking him.
Ooh.
Just add some solid additional, stability and leadership to that team. They don't really need much else.
Give a little reunion with the Henrique Zach Parise line, huh? Woo.
Potentially. It might be it, but we'll see.
Bill.
All right, I got Adam Henrique going to my Boston Bruins. When you think about that, Pavel Zacha's their number one center. They could use help in the middle. As good as they are, they could use help in the middle.
That's who their number one center is right now?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. I, like Nick, have Adam Henrique going to the Colorado Avalanche. Sean Walker from the Philadelphia Flyers. Fuck the Flyers. Steve, where's he going?
I think he's staying put. I don't think they're gonna mess with things right now. I think they're gonna just see if they can make the playoffs with who they got, and go from there. I don't think he would command that much on the open market, so they'll sit tight.
Nick?
Yeah, I kind of agree here. They're in a weird spot, but the whole East is shitty right now. At that point, there's not many teams that can really make the jump and take them out. I feel like they got to make the push for the playoffs at this point. Just where they are, I don't see them moving him.
Bill?
I'm not going to pretend that I even know who this guy is.
The guy who won the dunk.
I know
didn't he
because
win
the
dunk contest.
No, that's
Kitty
Spud Webb.
Skywalker.
Isn't that what this is? No, different guy.
I learned about him because the Rangers played the Flyers on Saturday. So I learned who Sean Walker was on Saturday.
Yeah, you just put Walker on our list, and I had no idea. I was thinking Wesley Walker. I'm thinking like Jets,
So did you say he was going anywhere?
He doesn't know who he fucking
the
is.
Winnipeg Jets, because Wesley Walker played for the Jets, so I think the Winnipeg Jets. That's where he's going to go.
That's funny you mentioned that. I also have Sean Walker if he's going anywhere to the Winnipeg Jets.
This fucking guy.
I
Genius.
think he fits right in.
He doesn't even know who the guy
Like,
is, and he nails
being-
who he's going to, right along with somebody else. And incredible.
Next on the list is Vladimir Tarasenko, Ottawa Senators, 1-year contract, $5 million, moving pretty easily. Steve, where's he going?
This is the fucking guy the Devils should have fucking gotten. All along, this is the fucking play. They should have gotten him instead of Toffoli. And they didn't
Really?
sign him last season.
Huh.
They should have signed him during the offseason. So I think he is going.
Like everybody else on fucking God's green earth. Everybody's
No,
going
he's
to the
he's
New
going
Jersey
out
Devils.
west. Vegas
They're
or
all
Vegas.
in.
Vegas or Vancouver. Maybe LA.
Ooh, LA.
I'll say
You gave
LA.
me three fucking teams.
I'm gonna say LA just to change it up.
LA.
Kings are gotta, they gotta be in the mix too.
Hey, interesting. He fits on the Kings like Gabrick fit on the Kings. He seems like that perfect guy that just is goal scorer. Just put him in there and
That's all
he'll just perform. Just perform. Like Nick.
They need a goalist, man. Kings, they need a goal scoring. He can score goals. It makes a lot of sense. I think that's a good fit if he goes west. He stays east. I think he's gonna end up with the Rangers.
Again?
Yeah, again.
He could. It's an option. But he makes a lot more sense out west than with LA.
I agree. Bill? Do you know who he is? Do you know who Vladimir Tarasenko is?
Why was I muted? I don't remember muting myself.
Thank
Yeah, I
God
know
you're
who
muted.
Vladimir Tarasenko is, and I know he's a washed up guy who didn't do anything for the Rangers. So, what team out there is a bubble team that wants to overpay for a washed up star? It's the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Ooh.
Wow. Tampa, really?
Ooh.
They're
Interesting.
desperate to pretend that they're still contenders.
Also,
I-
a good point.
Yeah, I actually have I think Edmonton's going to lose out on getting Gensel, and they're going to overpay for Tarasenko, and I think Tarasenko's going to Edmonton.
Yeah.
The very Edmonton move.
It's such an Edmonton move. Next on the list is Anthony Duclair, the Duke, out in San Jose. Steve, where's he going?
Tom, you've been wanting this one for a while. He's coming to New Jersey.
Of course he's going to New Jersey. Everybody's coming to New Jersey.
Wow, Jersey
That's
is moving and shaking.
New Jersey
shit.
that's
Hey,
it. They're winning the cup this year. That's
The
it.
fucking
Done.
lineup they got right now isn't doing much. Why not bring in as many players as we can? Change it up.
Wow.
Oh, I can see the write up tomorrow already.
If you throw enough shit against the wall, something's gonna stick. I'm gonna be right about one of these fucking guys.
But this is a lot of young assets you're giving up for a lot of these fucking
I'm gonna
players.
be right about one of these fucking guys.
All right, Nick. Anthony Duclair.
I don't know. He's gonna fucking go somewher.
Good call, Nick.
Right.
That's kind of why we're
Right.
doing this
Right.
segment.
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely going to go somewhere. Probably, yes.
Canucks. I don't know. I don't really care about Duclair, so let's say Canucks. I haven't said them yet.
This month, you're gonna say
Right?
that?
I don't
This month.
care. It's Black History Month, Nick. Holy shit!
This month, you choose to say that. That's just
I
First off,
don't.
it's the tail end.
care.
All right, we're almost there. All right.
No, it's not the tail end. It's a leap year.
there's 2 more days,
Wow.
bud.
Oh my god!
It's still
Oh.
the tail of the
Just
month.
wanting it over as soon as possible. Wow. Okay. North Carolina.
You got a clan meeting you're late to tonight for something?
Jesus.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Where's
I'm
the Duke?
stuck
Where's
with
the
this-
Duke going?
I'm stuck with these other 3 whiteys. goddamn podcast.
Oh, oh,
What?
that's
He is called us
that's-
honkies.
Said
Holy
Whitey's.
it's
Honkies.
Same thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Next.
I didn't-
Next.
all right.
You guys
Next.
are acting like I said.
The wheels are coming off. Bill, where's the Duke going?
It's going to the Detroit Red Wings.
Wow. You know, he fit really well there too. Fuck, I didn't think of Detroit. God damn, that was good. I have Duclair very cheaply coming back to the New York Rangers.
Oh.
I think
Yeah,
he's
could happen.
gonna be that right wing that fits with Kreider and Zibanejad.
Ooh.
I think that's anyway. How about a defenseman up in Ottawa? Got some, I believe he's got some term left to him, and that's Jacob Chikrin. I mean, this is a guy who's been on the block, it seems, for the past 5 years.
Every
In
single
Arizona,
season.
now in
Yeah.
Ottawa.
Yeah.
And now that Ottawa got him and signed him, let's trade him. Good idea. Okay, so Steve, where's he going?
He's staying in Ottawa.
He's staying in Ottawa?
Are you
Since
sure
he couldn't
he's
be
not going to
traded,
Devils?
since he's been on the block for 5 years and he only got traded one time, these rumors are all false. He's staying in Ottawa.
Okay.
Wowzers.
All right.
Nick,
Uh,
what do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm getting bad vibes from Lou that he's going to do something stupid and try and trade for this guy. That's my worry. Chitrin was stuck in Arizona forever because Arizona couldn't, for whatever reason, they wanted like 1 million picks for him, didn't get it. But I don't think Iowa's going to make that mistake. They're gonna find somebody to take him on, and they'll get something good for him. I get the feeling Lou's got a burn first in his pocket, man. He's gonna fucking probably trade him and first and Pajot for him. Guarantee it. It's gonna happen. It's a done deal.
Pajot going back to Ottawa, baby. I love it.
That's my feeling.
He will not be at the Sphere for the draft. Bill, where is Jacob
Aw.
Chikrin going?
Nick stole my thunder. I got him going to the Islanders.
Whoa.
Yeah. So let's go for that.
Whoa.
Let's go for that golden shower. What do you got, Tom?
Oh, listen, I have him staying in Ottawa. He's not. There's no need for fucking Ottawa to
Wow.
trade this fucking guy.
Okay.
There's no pressure to trade him. Just fucking hang on to him. I think he's staying. That's a split right down the middle. Right down
All
the
right.
middle.
I like
That's
it.
an ass
I like it.
crack. That's an ass crack. All right. From the last one from the Columbus Blue Jackets, we got Jake Roslovic.
Never heard of him. He's staying.
Do we
in-
know who he is? Do we
Never
know
heard
who
of
he
him.
is?
He's staying in
No
Columbus.
idea.
Oh, he's
idea.
the
That's-
UFA on a fucking terrible Columbus team. He is not staying.
Staying in Columbus. He's gonna re-sign there. He's gonna
Re-sign.
die. He's gonna die a
DJ.
Columbus Blue Jacket.
Yeah.
Well,
Hopefully he'll just
hope.
die.
We can hope. We can hope. Nick?
I'll be honest. I don't know who this guy is, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's.
You guys
probably
not
gonna
watch
go-
hockey? Do you not follow hockey? I mean, we're a hockey podcast.
Ugh. There's so many players, man. Come on, so much time. You know this guy.
Listen,
is,
I could,
Tom?
yes, of course I do. I
Well,
can
yes,
understand
Nick,
Sean Walker.
Of course I know who this player is. How silly you should think I don't know who this player is.
You're
Fuck
so
you.
smart, Tom.
Fuck you and your fucking attitude. You only
All
know
right.
who this player is because you put the fucking list together, you fucking prick.
You tell. Yeah, really. So where's he going, Tom?
Yeah,
only one knows
please,
these guys.
wizard, pull back the screen and tell us where he's fucking going.
Bill, if you will indulge me.
Yeah, please, Bill.
Jake Roslovic
Yeah,
is
it's
going
easy
to
for you to say.
going to the Boston Bruins. That's
Good
where
for you.
he's going.
Yeah.
Perfect fit on the
Okay,
wing.
good. Write it on your stupid list.
I got it right there on my list.
I know you
Bill,
do.
where you got him going?
Oh, Florida Panthers. I hadn't said Florida Panthers yet, so I just decided that you should go to the Florida.
Bill, in Bill's extensive research, he has determined that he will go to the Florida Panthers.
That's why I have Boston. That's why I haven't gone to Boston. I got
Because you
that
hadn't
list
said
when I-
Boston yet?
I didn't have Boston yet. All right,
It's 40
I told you
45
there,
minutes down the drains.
I told you there would be a couple of surprises.
Oh, God.
Oh God.
I got 3 of them.
Oh, God. Is your honorable mentions?
These are honorable mentions. Brock Nelson.
Oh,
Where's Brock
Interesting.
Nelson going, if anywhere?
Nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's staying home.
I
No.
don't think the Islanders have the balls to trade him.
No.
No,
even
they
for
should.
Chikrin.
They're gonna
I don't
wait
think they have the
till.
balls to trade him.
Has he played in his 1,000th game yet?
I don't think so.
They'll wait till
That's been a-
999 and then trade him.
Yeah, I think
Just
you're
because Lou
right.
doesn't want to have to pay for the silver stick that he gets as a fucking congratulations.
Cheap bastard.
Yeah, he's a cheap fuck.
Oh, he's got a few years. He's only at 758, so he's
All right.
got some time.
But is he UFA? Or does he have term left?
No, he's got term left. How much term has he got? 5 years, 4 years?
Ooh.
I think
That'd be-
3-4 years. 3-4 years.
That seems like a move that happens in the offseason, not necessarily a deadline.
No, I'm sorry. It's 1 year. I got confused with Pajot. He's only got 1 more year left on his deal. But he's very good. So, I mean, $6 million a year, 1 more year.
That's it.
Yeah, it's not a lot left now. I was confusing him with Pajot.
He seems like a guy that would go to the fucking Bruins and just excel.
He would go anywhere
God.
and excel. He's a very
Yeah.
good player. He's a very good player.
I agree, but I don't. Again, I think that's a deal that happens in the offseason, not at the trade deadline. I don't think Brock Nelson's going anywhere.
It would be a blockbuster for us if that happened, because that would have to bring in a lot back. He's our second center, so I mean, it's kind of tough to just send him away without
Maybe get Jacob
big on him.
Chikrin in return.
Maybe.
There's your package. Maybe it's not Pajot, it's Brock Nelson.
I'd rather.
How
have
about?
Pajot.
Yeah, I know you would. How about Tyler Toffoli?
Tyler Toffoli is staying with the New Jersey Devils as they are in talks to extend his contract.
It would get a lot for him, though.
He's
They
staying.
would get a lot. They should fucking trade him. They should trade him. They should trade Smith. They should trade Miller. They should trade Siegenthaler and just clear house. But
And
they're
they
not
should
going.
trade them all for Hannafin, Markstrom, Tanev. Who else we got? Anthony Duclair.
Genius.
Who else is coming to New Jersey?
Works
Jesus
like a
Christ.
charm.
And last, but certainly not least, Tristan Jarry. Are the Penguins going to trade Tristan Jarry? Leads the NHL in shutouts. They would get a lot for him. Goalies will fucking get a ton.
I don't think there's anybody that's not tradable on the Penguins. I think if the right deal comes along, but I think ultimately if they were going to move a goalie, they'd be looking more toward trying to get something for Nedeljkovic. Now his contract's up, and I think they should move him, because what the hell are you doing with a good backup goalie this season? You don't need it to miss the playoffs. So I think they could get a little something in return for him, but they're not going to move both of them.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to move Jarry either. I tend to agree with you. These are just names that popped up over the past week on the Twix, and I just wanted to get what your reactions would be. So that's where everybody's going to go. You mark it down. The New Jersey Devils are going to be a different team on March 9th. You watch out. March 9th, 4 weeks left of the season. Devils are kicking ass and taking names.
20-game heater after that, after the deadline.
Fucking
boy.
delusional Devil fans. All right, let's take a ride on the Metro. Sponsored by Rich Wholesome Nestle Quick.
Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. One sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink. Then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
And we are going to start with I think we're going to start with the Islanders.
Yeah, we are starting the
Good
Islanders.
bounce back game against the Dallas. No, they beat the Stars.
I know,
It's a
but
good step in the right direction.
I'm saying we're first up tonight. That means we had the worst week.
Well, hold on. Before you start, I saw this
All right.
on the Twix today, and I wanted to get both of your reactions. So, Steve, Nick, someone put on the Twix, Matt Barzal greater than Jack Hughes.
Yeah. I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I don't think he's that far off.
That was my thinking. I agree.
I would say Barzi's been playing finally at a higher level this season, probably because he's playing with Horvat, but he's been making a lot better decisions. Hughes is what, 22? And he's already had a higher ceiling in at least one season than Barzi's ever had. I mean, it's like I don't see it. I've seen a lot of Barzy, and he can get a little better. I feel like, and he can stay at this level and be an elite player, like he should have been for every last few seasons. But I mean, he's got a lot of potential, and he's already proved he's an elite player. So I don't know. I feel like Hughes is that guy for the Devils. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so Isles 1-2 this week. We had a game against the St. Louis, which was a normal game until 32 seconds in the game of the second period.
Can you describe a normal game first?
A normal game is the Isles have a lead and then blow it in the third period and then lose in overtime. That's generally what happens.
All right.
14 times this year, about or so. 14 overtime losses. I'd say it's kind of like that. Anyway, so this is like a 0-0 game. And then it becomes a 3-0 game in the span of 32 seconds. St. Louis scored 3 goals in 32 seconds, a record for them in those weird things of fastest 3 goals in their team history. And one of those weird things where Roy calls a timeout after the second goal. Perfect play. Like, you called the timeout. 2 real quick goals in a game that was not anywhere like this. It was just, there was nothing representative of them being down 2 goals. It was a very even game. Calls timeout, sends it back out there, and their goal happens within 10 seconds. And you're like, okay, fire this game into the sun. Just, it's fucking over. And it basically was. It ended up being 4-0. But my God, you can't. I haven't seen a game turn around so fast, and you turn a game off as fast as that. That was pretty much I cannot believe all that just happened in that span. Followed up with a loss to Tampa, 4-2 loss, empty netter. So it was really a closer game, but not really. Isles had an early tying goal pulled off the scoreboard due to offsides. Those calls that goes against you. It was offsides, but it was just kind of like, oh man, quick goal from Tampa early to start the game. Isles tie it up, and then it gets pulled off. Ended up being down 3-0 going to the third. Isles scored a power play goal with about 6 minutes to go with an empty net. I think it ended up being a regular. I think it was right as the power play expired, if I remember correctly. But Waugh loves to pull a goalie, man. He had a goalie out during that 6-on-4. Horvat gets a deflection goal, and then he's pulling the goalie again. I'll score again. It was 5-on-5, became 6-on-5 with about just under 3 minutes to play. Nice shot by Nelson, screen play, and then the Tampa eventually, they finally got an empty netter on us. But the Isles definitely dominated the third period. I think Tampa only had 5 shots, I think, into 19 or so from the Isles. Isles definitely turned it on, just too little too late. You can't be, you're peppering the goalie because it also is kind of inflated a little bit when, you have a 6-on-5 for 6-7 minutes in the game. It's just a long time. And then bounce back game against Dallas, a good team, another good team. Early goal from Pulak, early lead. Duchesne ends up scoring to tie the game up and has his 800th point in the NHL, which is kind of interesting to watch. By the way, what do you guys think? Duchesne, like, you think he'll hit 1,000 points? Think he was like a pretty? You think he'll be like considered an all-star when we look back at his career over the last, like maybe 5-6 years later, 10 years later?
It's more like one of those accumulators,
right? That's what he feels like.
Yeah,
Feels like this guy's just kind of like slowly gotten there. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll get to 1,000 points playing on Dallas. Anyway, then a couple of really weird goals, back and forth. Engvall had a ridiculously good effort where he shot a puck coming to the zone up high. Goalie had to, throw his glove up, knock it down. Engvall gets the rebound, gets another shot on net, and gets his own rebound again and throws a pass out to McLean. Awesome effort, and McLean's Roof scores an empty netter. Basically, it was just, but it was almost like a 1-on-3 kind of scenario. Shouldn't have scored. And then the exact opposite thing happens, or the same thing happens to the Islanders. Defensive breakdown, a 1-on-3, and guy just comes in and does the same thing. Gets a shot in net, gets his puck, somehow gets a puck out to a guy that's coming back. To a guy, it's like, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's 5'8", and he scores like a quick goal, and it's kind of funny looking at the guy because he's like so small. But yeah, so whatever it is. So get to overtime, expecting a loss, and Barzal had a monster play. Just
it was a nice one.
Really, just very patient. Sometimes he gets a little too patient, but he just timed it all right and had the right feints and was able to draw the second defender over to him, throw it over to Horvat for basically a fucking whole side of the net was completely open. So that was awesome. But Barzy was really good all game. He had a couple of really good scoring chances. Wedgwood twice stopped him on the doorstep, once on a breakaway, once on another one that was right there on a quick give and go, if I remember correctly. And, so it wasn't all bad, obviously, this week, but you have to start going effectively at this point to make the playoffs. You got to be 2-1 every week. You can't be 1-2. And 1-2 isn't going to do it. They're just going to have to really start playing really, really, really well to get there. I think they're too far back, and I don't know. I don't think Lou's going to believe in that. I think Lou's job's on the line. I think he's going to, like I said, make a dumb trade and trade for Chychrun or something. But if he makes a trade, he's got to send somebody. He can't keep accumulating. It's just not going to work out with all the numbers and everything. So my worry is that he'll do something dumb and extend somebody another 6-7 years and make our team even more inflexible with all the trades. So that's the Isles this week. I got a few games coming up. I think we got 3 games. Well, it's like 2 games and then a game on Tuesday. So I feel like that's really a 2-game kind of week. Detroit at home away on Thursday, and then going into March we got Saturday, I should say, the Bruins at home. And the next Tuesday we got the Blues at home as well. So some winnable games there. I think the Bruins game will be tough, but it's at home at least. And it'll be really interesting to see how they do against Detroit on Thursday, because Detroit beat the shit out of who are they playing tonight? They got 8-3.
Washington.
Yeah, they smoked
They
them.
beat the snot. When did I said this to Steve earlier? When did Detroit turn into the '80s Edmonton Oilers? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Seems like they're smoking everybody lately. They're on a fucking tear.
They were early in the season, right? And they tanked, and then they're coming back around at the right time. I mean, this is the time to do it. So
yeah, and this is not a good time to play the Detroit Red Wings for sure. Steve, Devils.
Started the week off with a 5-1 loss to the Rangers. And is there anything fucking worse in this world than losing 5-1 to the New York fucking Rangers?
Wait till the next segment.
Followed that up by a decent victory against Montreal, kind of like a typical Devils win this year. Give up the first goal, tie it. Give up the second goal, tie it. Take a cool 2-goal lead in the third, and then let the team get back in with a couple minutes to go. But they did wind up winning that game, which was nice. It was Dawes' 7th straight start. They brought up Poulter, rookie goaltender, who had just signed his entry-level deal a week before. He was the backup. Did they play him in one of the 2 back-to-back games they had on the weekend? No. Did they start him against a substandard Montreal Canadiens team so that Dawes could be fresh to play the Lightning? No. Why would they do that? So they followed that up on Sunday, playing the Lightning, a team that they're chasing in the wild card standings, and shit the bed. Just did not show up at all. 42nd game this year that they gave up the first goal. It's 42 of 58. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. Ending, they score a power play goal during the game, but they're still on a 4 for 52 stretch in the last 16 games. You're not going to win many games if your power play is like 8%. So just terrible. It's just the same song and dance every week. It's injuries, it's bad goaltending, and it's bad coaching. They're 14, 15, and 2 on the season at home. 7 points out of a wild card, 5 points out of 3rd place in the Metro. They need to make changes, or they need to just punt on the season. So it's either wholesale changes from the coaches and player acquisitions, which I think it's too late. I think at this point, you're not going to dig out of the hole you're in. It's just too late. So I really honestly think that this trade deadline for them is honestly just going to be a stand pat. They're not going to make any of the deals I said they're going to make. They're not going to fire Lindy. They're not going to make any changes. Fitzgerald's just sitting on his fucking hands. I don't know what's going on with this team. This week's schedule is they're playing tonight, so they're going to lose to San Jose tonight. Game Friday against Anaheim, they're going to lose that one. Sunday against LA, they're going to lose that one. And then next Tuesday back home against the Florida Panthers, and they're going to lose that one.
That's the spirit. Hey,
Let's trade for everybody, then we're going to lose everything.
I think just one additional thing, though, Steve, like all the pieces of the Devils that you said are struggling. Well, one of the things that I heard is that the media is asking too many tough questions.
Yeah, right. Fucking
and that's really affecting the team.
I didn't want to bring that up just because I hate piling on this fucktard Lindy Ruff. But have you ever heard a dumber answer to a question? Lindy, what's wrong with the power play? Well, you guys are asking these same questions to the players, and it's getting on their minds, and they're thinking too much. They're not playing well because you're asking them these questions. Come on, dude. Come on. Show them the fucking door, Fitz.
So two questions. So 42 out of 58 games, is that we have any idea what the record is in the season?
They're 16 games away for setting the record for giving up the first goal of the game. So they've got to get to 66.
It's possible.
It's certainly possible.
We could definitely get there.
They are bad enough that they could get there. Yes.
So they're saying this Western trip is going to be the litmus test of how the Devils season is going to progress.
It's too late.
You buy that?
It's too late. It's too late.
It's not. No, it's not.
He should have made a move.
Too late.
He should have made a move when Hamilton went down, and he didn't. He should have made a move in mid-January for goaltending. He didn't. It's too late.
You have 3 games in hand on the last wild card spot, and you're 7 points back. They'd have to definitely make that up.
They would have to win them all, and they haven't had a streak of wins in a row all season.
That's and again, it's like I'm talking to the wall with Billy. They have 6 games in hand on the Lightning. Six games in hand.
They have
12 points in the standing.
No, they don't have 6 games in hand against the Lightning. They have 3 games in hand. It's 6 points.
No.
How could they have 6? How could they have played 6 less games?
Tampa has played 61 games, including the one tonight, and the Penguins, who have yet to start, have played 55 games. That's 6 fucking games. That's 12 points in the standings.
You talking about the Penguins or the Devils?
Penguins. The Devils are 3 games.
Why are
3
you
games
talking
in hand.
about? Why are you talking to
Because
me about
you're
the
Jumping
fucking?
around.
What do I care
Because
about the
you
fucking
are
Penguins?
so fucking thick-headed, like Billy's fucking thick-headed. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, you have games in hand on teams in front of you. Okay, so you lost to them.
So they have
over the
3
weekend.
games.
So
hold on,
Good for
dickhead.
you.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah, they'll be
They have-
1 point behind the Lightning.
They'll still be behind, and they don't
Who
win
cares?
games.
You have tons of games in order
They
to
don't
make
win
it up.
consecutive games in a row. They have the 9th toughest schedule of the rest of the year. They don't win back-to-backs. They don't win in the second half of a back-to-back ever. They can't dig out of the hole that they're in.
You know what's going to help them? They trade for Noah Hannafin.
And Jacob Markstrom.
Well, and Anthony Duclair. Get all those
And
guys,
you know what?
and
Maybe
that will be the catalyst that's going to turn this season around.
throw in Chris Tanev. I didn't say that, but throw in Chris Tanev.
But you guys are fucking so thick-headed. You're still in the race. But at what point?
Sure,
are you
they're
not
still in the race,
anymore?
but they
Yes,
haven't
you are.
done anything. They haven't done anything all season to make you think they will win those 3 games in a row to only be 1 point back at the playoffs.
It can happen. I'm telling you.
Yes, you're right. It could happen. You're
It
absolutely
could
right.
happen.
And the Rangers could win the President's Trophy and still win the Stanley Cup.
Well, of course they could.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They could.
100%. And they have done that in the past. Anyway, so we will move on to the New York Rangers, to your first place New York Rangers. As Steve did mention, it was a 5-1 win over the Devils on Thursday night. Igor Shesterkin was stellar. And listen, there's for as much shit as I gave Igor, and I gave him a lot of shit in the calendar months of December and January, I got to give him a lot of love in February. In February, he was 6-0 with a .951 save percentage and a .184 goals against and 1 shutout. That is spectacular goaltending by Igor Shesterkin. In fact, he's 3rd star of the week, went 3-0 with a 1.00 goals against and a .975 save percentage. I guess that only gets you the 3rd star of the week. But Igor has been something in February, and he was absolutely stellar against the Devils. And you know, the Devils had a lot of power play time, and they struggled. And the Rangers certainly came back. After that 5-minute major against Rempe, they were able to get a goal on the power play. Zibanejad scoring that, and then Lafreniere had a couple of goals. Kreider had his, I guess, his gimme goal against the Devils, which wasn't a gimme at all. But he's certainly a Devil killer. But the new New Jersey Devil killer, Jack Hughes, did score against Igor in the final 2 minutes to break the shutout, and it was a 5-1 win over the Devils in New Jersey on Thursday night. And it was just unlike Steve's feeling, it was a really good feel-good win for the Rangers for sure. They follow that up on Saturday afternoon against the Philadelphia Flyers. Fuck the Flyers.
Fuck the Flyers.
And listen, the Flyers are a tough team to play against. Tortorella, for whatever reason, has gotten those guys. They have bought in to the speed. They have bought into the defense, but they haven't really bought into the goaltending. And it hurts when you lose your number 1 goaltender and have to bring in a young guy and kind of have him learn on the fly. It was a 1-1 game. The majority of the game, the Rangers did get the winner late in the 3rd period for a 2-1 Rangers victory on Saturday afternoon in Philadelphia. And then they go and play a fucking hapless Columbus Blue Jackets team, which the Rangers were 9-0 on the 2nd of back-to-backs, complete opposite from where the Devils stand. And they just utterly shit the bed against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They were gunning for their 11th straight victory, which would have been a franchise record. And listen, I have said this early on in the season, they just don't match up well against Columbus, and these things happen. You know, we've seen it over a number of years with maybe Vegas having trouble with Arizona or Colorado having trouble with this team who sucks. And they've all gone on the win the cup. But losing to Columbus is not the fucking end of the world like everybody's making it out to be on Twix. I mean, Twitter is such a toxic environment for people. It is.
Are you new to Twix?
No, I'm not. Twix? But a team can go on a 10-game winning streak to tie a franchise record and then lose to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the world is basically over. You want to destroy everything, start from scratch, and trade Zibanejad because he sucks this year. And listen, some guys have down years, and Zibanejad is certainly having a down year. But we got Mika March coming up, and Zibanejad has always been a player in March. So I think we're all kind of hoping for something to happen to Mika when March turns the calendar. But he hasn't scored an even strength goal since I think December 23rd. It's been a very long stretch of non 5-on-5 play for Mika Zibanejad, and that's your number 2 line right now, and they got to get going. They put Kako on there in practice today, so who knows? Maybe that'll spark them on tomorrow night's game when they play the Columbus Blue Jackets on the back end of a home and home with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Then they play at Toronto on Saturday evening before coming home next Monday against the Florida Panthers. After that game with the Panthers on Monday night, they have 4 straight days off until Saturday. So they won't play again after Monday until after the trade deadline. So it's going to be interesting what happens, how quickly it happens after Monday's game, that they start making moves that they're going to. And look, I'm sure every team is trying. Nobody just seems to want to give up their first round pick for any one of these players. And, is there any, people on our top 10 list, how many would you give up a first round pick for? Gensel?
No.
I would give up a first round pick for Gensel.
Even though it's only going to be the rest of the season?
If I'm going to resign him,
yeah,
I would. But even as a rental, I think I would. If I'm a team that he would push me over the edge to be a top Stanley Cup contender, yeah, I would trade a first round pick for Gensel. But everybody else, I don't think I'm not trading a first round pick for Hanifin, for Tanev, for Henrique, Duclair. No way. But this is the price tag that all these teams have on these players.
Something is only worth as much as somebody is willing to pay for it. So,
but something's got to give. When did these teams go, all right, I'm not going to get a first round pick. We're getting to the nitty gritty time, and it's probably going to be that Friday. It's probably going to be
without a
2:55 p.m. to where the fucking calls get flooded in, and we're getting trade calls at 8:00 at night on Friday. So we'll see what the Rangers look like after next week. Bill, Penguins.
All right, so the Penguins were in the midst of a horrific homestand the last time we talked, and since then they've closed out the homestand with a couple of wins. So they beat Montreal. Bad start to the game. Chris Letang coughed up a bad pass, a ill-advised pass, and really set up Mike Matheson beautifully for a goal against his former team. So they were down 1-0, but Letang scored 2 goals in the game, and they took care of Montreal 4-1. Then they had the game against the Flyers after Rempe softened them up the day before.
Fuck those Flyers.
Fuck the Flyers. The Flyers came to Pittsburgh, and wild fucking game. 7-6 was the final score. Penguins were down 1-0 again in that one, but they had 3 separate 2-goal leads. Kind of disappointing to hear the TNT coverage of the game in between periods. Then the Penguins had taken a 4-2 lead in the second period, coughed it up before the period was over. They were tied 4-4 going into the third, and to hear those so-called experts so fucking surprised because they said, "Oh, we were putting this in the win column for the Penguins." Have you fucking watched the Penguins game since 2017? They can't hold the fucking lead. What are you fucking thinking? Yeah, of course the game's still a game. It's so just shocking to hear such stupidity. But anyway, the Penguins did win the game. Crosby really put the team on his back. We thought he had 5 points in the game at the conclusion of that game, but they took away the final assist because it was actually a Flyer that passed the puck to Letang for the game winner. So thank you to that guy, I guess. But Crosby did have 4 points, and that kind of brings me to a pet peeve I have about Sidney Crosby right now. Now, it's not a pet peeve about Crosby himself. You guys know that I love him. I cherish him. I savor every moment that I get to watch him play, et cetera, and so forth. But every time Sidney Crosby has a multi-point game at this point in his career, I have to brace myself for on the Twix or wherever else on the NHL shows. Sidney Crosby is 36 years old and he's on pace to score 47 goals and 90 points. Like I've got to get a fucking update of what he's on pace to score and a reminder of how old he is every time he has a multi-point game. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy, watching the guy play. Driving me fucking nuts. But anyway, that was the Penguins week. I'm just gonna explain the thick-headedness of me for in my defense for knowing that the Penguins have games in hand and knowing that it doesn't matter. Okay, here's the math. Okay, if you're a first place team, you're going for first place or like the top of the conference, blah blah blah. Those games in hand mean something because you got a winning team and it's a reasonable guess that you might win those games or take the majority of the points in those games. When you're a team that is a losing team on the bottom, you're not going to anticipate going on a run with a 3 games in hand or 5 games in hand or whatever you got. And the other part of it for the Penguins specifically is that they're the oldest team in the league, and all these games in hand, they got to play them at some point. At the end of the season, nobody's going to have any games left. That means they've got the most games in the shortest amount of time. They're playing like every other night. They're old. Brian Rust got hurt. He's week to week. Gensel's already out. They're fucking toast, man. This team is not gonna fly up the standings and knock anybody out of a playoff spot. Games in hand or not, it's just not gonna happen. But
tell him, Steve, Dave.
Pittsburgh. Thank you.
But Sidney Crosby's on pace for 47 goals. What are you talking about?
And he's 194 years old.
I stand corrected.
And now
Penguins got it in the bag this year. They're going to the
it's
playoffs.
time
Mark my words right now.
for one of the last few editions ever of Trivia with Bill. Yeah.
All right.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
Okay. This is since we're closing out February, this is our question today is who was
Willie
the first...
O'Ree.
No.
Anson Carter.
Good guess. Excuse me. No, not Anson.
Kevin Weeks.
Not Kevin Weeks.
Nick hates all of them.
Wow.
Ouch.
Wow.
Okay. Who was the first African American hockey player named to a Team USA Olympic roster?
Anson Carter.
No, we already said that wasn't him.
Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane.
Not African. Not African, interestingly.
Wow, what a shock.
God.
Nick said that one.
He's
My
not,
God.
he's not
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
Evander's brother. He's
Could be.
So I guess we've kind of run out of black players today. No, is that what happened? Oh, they're
Yeah.
stumped.
Can you repeat the question?
Can you do player is Canadian?
Who was the first African American hockey player
Yeah, he is.
named to a Team USA Olympic roster?
And PK is Canadian.
Grant Fuhr.
Not
He's Canadian too.
Yeah.
Canadian, yeah.
Trick question.
George-
There hasn't been one yet.
Ooh, that would have been a fucked up question to put in the trivia
Messed up
book, but,
question.
no, it's not. It's not a trick question, as it turns out.
George Larocque.
Not
Canadian.
George Harunka.
He's not African American.
Anson Carter was not. He's Canadian.
No, he was Canadian. He's Canadian, yeah.
He
And
was
we
never
said him
on
3
the
times
team
already.
anyway.
By the way, you're never gonna get this. You're never gonna get this right. So
What year? What
Just-
does it have the year?
it doesn't. I'll have to look that up.
All right.
Penelope Cruz.
Not even American.
So,
Honest
I'm guessing it wasn't recent.
hockey player. I can't imagine that it was because I don't know
All
this
right.
name.
Well, what are the multiple choice then?
Well, now that's going to get. Actually, maybe I should know his name. I have no idea. Okay. All right. So A
Wait.
is Seth Jones.
I'm going to say Seth Jones.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
B is Jordan Greenway.
I'm going to say B, Jordan Greenway.
You are correct.
Oh, you should know
Oh,
it. This
I
is
have no idea who
current.
that
You don't
is.
know Jordan Greenway?
I just
Oh my
Googled him.
God.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
he was
he's
like on like the 1972 team or something. I
no,
looked
no,
him up,
no.
Ah,
and he is
Sean
a person who's
Walker,
current player.
Jordan Greenway, fuck them all.
Wow, Jordan. He
Pretty
was
much.
the first.
Holy
Then that's
wow.
I mean, that's within the
That's
last.
recent.
Yeah.
oh.
Wow. All right, well, I guess hockey isn't for everyone.
Good job, diversity in the NHL.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. All right, trade deadline.
I was going to
coming
call
up.
the place. I was going to call the piece. Michael Jackson is on top of the world. But now I think I'm going to call it Michael Jackson can be on top of the world anywhere except for the Beverly Hills Hotel. Go ahead, Nick.
Because, well, no, finish the line. No, come on, finish the line. Finish the line. No one's listening anyway. Go finish the
No,
line.
I'm good.
Are
Bill,
you sure?
Nick, go ahead.
All right. Money talks, Nick.
Money, it's a gas. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash. New plug, give a fuck, G and daydream. Think I'll buy me a hockey team.
All right. So conclude the two-part series, starting from last week, where we talked about Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and why I brought it up and split these teams up, our teams, into two groups was I thought really it'd have two groups of one group being the sellers and the other group being the buyers. I kind of changed my thought process on this with the Devils this week. I don't see them as buyers this season, despite everything Steve has said today, and he's really more connected to the team, obviously, and knows him much better than I. But when I look at the numbers, the way that this team is constructed, I don't see how they can really pull players in right now and try to make a run. They already have a very expensive core of players in Timo Meier, Jack Hughes, Rat Pack. They got Heischer for 3 more years, Palat for 3 more years, Hamilton for $9 million for 4 years if he's healthy. They have a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money tied up in just 4 players. If you look at what they have signed past 25-26, there's $41 million in just the forwards group, and that's mostly 5 guys. The other guy is Eric Hula making $3 million. I mean, Timo, Hughes, Bratt, Heischer, Palat, none of them make under $6 million a year, and they're all making quite a bit. I mean, they're all 3 more years at least. With Bratt, Hughes, and Meier, they're here till 6 and 7 years. It's a lot of money you're putting up front there. So where I'm going with this is kind of your core group of players. I mean, what else do they need to add here from the big player perspective? And it's not looking like you can add a lot of money there when you have guys like, you still have Holtz, you still got Hughes to resign as notable RFAs coming up. You got Mercer and I mean, you get your goaltenders. I mean, obviously we talked about it, and Schmidt and Dawes. I don't know what they're going to do with those guys, but really they're not going to be the starters. That's just not going to happen. They're going to go get somebody. But it's starting to look like, if you're going to go get somebody though, you have to move a Holtz, you have to move a Hart Mercer. Eventually you're going to have to pay Luke Hughes. Nemec might be a guy that they're going to pay money for, maybe a bridge deal if he doesn't show those big jumps, into a bigger deal eventually maybe. But you've already tied up so much money. I don't see where they're going to go with some of these guys. They got to start making moves, kind of like what Steve was saying, blow up some of the things, move some guys. I don't see how Timo is going to really play into this whole thing. I'm hoping for Steve's sanity that this is just a down year. for the entire team, and they're misusing Timo. But man, it's not looking good right now for his contract. He's got to. They brought him in to be that 40 goal scorer, and it's not looking good. And he's here for quite some time. But bright side, they probably will fire the coach and get somebody in and hopefully right the ship. But I just don't see it. I feel like this is a good moment to sell some things and try to grab obviously, if you can find a goaltender that will stay here and kind of be with this core group for the next 3 to 4 years, I think that's a great move. I'm not super sure that it's a great idea to go crazy on a Markstrom, just because they got to resign him. I think he's a UFA.
He's got another year after this one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can make it work, but he's still, if I remember correctly, he making like six or something.
$6 million.
Yeah, it's a lot. And they're going to hit that eventually get to that point where, they really need to start investing in defense. And I know Hannafin's a good, a big guy and everything, but there's a lot of money already tied up long term, and they really need to start finding those guys in between that can, make 3 to 4 million, but for only a few more years, and start to be the supporting cast, because they really, really do have it. To me, they're core players. I don't see why they need to do much more than that, and maybe start to trade out some of those guys that
So that's what a Smith and a Colin Miller were supposed to be. They were supposed to be the holdovers to get it to when Nemec and Hughes could take on a bigger role. And with Dougie going down, everything got all fucked up.
It does. It definitely screws things up. And that's why this, between, coaching not being great, clearly, I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't disagree there.
You hit the nail on the head. Just Meyer playing out of position the entire season.
Whole year. It's rough,
Yeah.
But I feel like this is the time you sit pat, maybe make some small moves, and really just let the team, get to next season. They have picks, but I mean, I think you really want to keep them. I don't think this is the time to strike. You got a core, but the season's so far gone, and I don't think they have enough. I'm
right there with you. I'm 100% agreeing with you. I think don't sell off tomorrow for what might happen today.
Yeah.
Build a solid foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you
trade those assets now for players that are going to help you.
Yeah.
So I think you gotta find some pieces but they gotta really figure out some of those things they gotta do. But really they gotta they gotta shore up those defense, in my opinion, and get an actual goalie that they can really, or even if it's a combination of 1A, 1B, but they gotta really solidify that spot without killing their long-term, contracts. They already have quite a few. So I think from the Devils' perspective, I've moved them into more of that seller or hold kind of position.
Stand pat or seller, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see them really making the move. The Rangers, on the other hand, listen, they've been on the buy. We knew they were going to be buyers. I looked at it as, the people that made the most sense to me, probably Tarasenko or Vetrano, probably bring back. I didn't think of Duclair. That's a good call out, Tom. That's also another guy that could have it cheap and who knows the system and would be a good person to slide in there. Buchnevich should be also another guy who's been playing really good, but he's going to be for too much money. I don't think they can make that happen, or would want to, for what they'd have to pay for it. So I think, definitely could see a good chance of those former Rangers coming in and being the extra spot, but they really don't need a lot. This team is actually, I feel like, of our 4 teams, is probably the most balanced team in terms of their core set of guys and their way their contracts are structured. Panarin's obviously making the biggest chunk of 11 million, but he's only got 2 more years, and then that comes off the books. He could resign for obviously less. He's not going to resign for more or the same. You have Zibanejad, Fox, and Trocheck as your 6 and 5 year guys. That's your big pieces there. And I like Fox. I like Trocheck. I like Zibanejad. Even if they're not having great years, they're always very good players. I don't think any of those guys are really going to age poorly in the way they play. Maybe Zibanejad does, but I think he's fine. Obviously, Kreider, Trouba, Goodrow, these are all the pieces of the puzzle that are like kind of fill it in. And then you have, Quick coming up with his, he's a notable UFA this year. I think the interesting thing with the Rangers, you have Shesterkin coming up next year as his last year, then he'll be a UFA. And then you got a slew of RFAs coming up. You got Kako and Lindgren, Schneider's RFAs this year. Next year, you got Lafreniere, Edstrom, Coyle, DeAndre Miller, Zach Jones, and then you also got some unknown mystery with Cheadle, if he'll ever come back. What that'll look like. So, but the good news is, in all of that, is that they're not stuck. They're very flexible. They can move guys. They have fluidity. Nobody's really killing them. All their long-term guys are. Fox is obviously a great defenseman. You want him long-term. Like I said, Trichak, and he's not even signed for too long, or too much, I should say, 5.6 over 5. Zibanejad is 8.5 over 6. He's probably the biggest, contract in terms of length and size that could be scary. But all this said, is just they have a very good mix. They had that time where they kind of sucked for a bit, grabbed all these guys. They all came in, and obviously Tom talked about Kako and Lafreniere and Cheadle and Fox and all these guys forever, all these young guys, and it's starting to work. And yeah, they'll have to figure out these deals. But as long as Drury doesn't sign these, every single guy to like 7-year contracts, they should be fine. So with that said, I think they don't really need a lot. I think they're one of the best teams in the East, obviously. I think they could probably do with one of Tarasenko and Vetrano, Duclair.
They need something to solidify that right wing on the line with Kreider and Zibanejad. That's a giant hole.
I get it. I think that's a good spot to fill in, and then maybe a one more defenseman, just like a one more guy that's like a playoff experience who they can just have.
Yeah, tough guy who's not making a lot of money, $1 million, something like that.
Yep.
But the two guys that I have earmarked, and I said this in our text, and that's Yanni Gourde and Frank Vetrano. I think if they can get those two guys, that puts the Rangers in another stratosphere that I become. I just
unbearable.
You cannot tolerate me on this podcast anymore.
Yeah,
that would be the tipping point.
Too late.
Well, it's going to happen either way. We're all three of us on this side of the fence are all not going to be in playoffs, and Tom's going to be telling us how great his team is for a few weeks. So that's happening. But to be honest, it's been interesting to look through the teams and how they've been structured. And in short, the Rangers are really set up really well. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do the next 2 seasons with all their RFAs coming in and how they're going to handle it. And a lot of it play out based on how the performance does. If they have a deep run, they could try to re-sign everybody that they, and really just kind of blow the bank to keep everybody, or maybe they start moving pieces around. And if Drury is smart, he'll try to move the guys that he feels give him value in terms of, draft picks and prospects to refill the prospect pool, but doesn't, kill your ability to make moves at the deadline with, lots of long deals, guys that are immovable. And the Devils, they have all that already in place. They have the core. They just need coaching, and they need to fix the defense and get a fucking goalie. And with those things, those are not the pieces that are going to really need to cost a ton. They probably will pay too much for a guy like Markstrom. If they were to pull off a Markstrom and Hannafin, deal, that solves a lot of problems, but they'd have other issues in terms of how are you going to re-sign those guys and keep them all, in the under cap and have flexibility over time. But hey, we've seen what the other teams like Vegas have done and just seemingly always pull out some crazy move and won a cup after getting all these crazy guys to move around. And, the first team to have $10 million players in the team to win a cup and all that kind of stuff. So it's not out of the realm of a possibility. I think, Devils and Rangers are the best two in terms of how close they are to the cup. They have the most, prospects and the best ability to get there in the next 5 years. But I think the Rangers have a much shorter window. if they go all in, and then obviously the Devils have a little bit longer of window with all the younger players that could potentially keep them going. So we'll see how it goes. But I think it's been interesting to see how these two teams are gonna have been doing, and we'll see how they wrap it up in the trade deadline.
Another solid money talk section with Nick. Love it. Let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Sponsored by Rich Wholesome. That's not right.
I mean, it is
Zero
fucking
sugar. That's the
wholesome.
one.
It is
It's
wholesome.
rich and wholesome. Coca-Cola zero sugar.
Round here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
This one's going to bring us to the year of our Lord, 2012. Please go to September 4th of 2012. September 4.
September 4th, 2012 was a Tuesday. Breakfast was 100-calorie pack and some water.
100-calorie
Lunch.
pack of what?
Oreo, Chips Ahoy, 100-calorie pack of Chips Ahoy.
Oh, I just thought it was a bag of calories. Okay.
Lunch.
Really it.
Lunch was a grilled chicken sandwich with mozzarella cheese and roasted red peppers on ciabatta bread with a Coca-Cola Classic 20-ounce on the side. Dinner was leftover ribs with French's fried onions on top and a can of Coca-Cola Classic. Tom, why did you pick Tuesday, September 4th in the year 2012?
I like the deep voice. I like the
Oh, good.
romanticizing
Thanks.
about the menu. I did like it.
Okay.
Well, that was the day, obviously, that a Vero Beach man punched a Domino's pizza delivery man.
Oh,
He
man.
forgot to bring the 48-year-old, 346-pound Robert Wheeler the garlic knots that he ordered along with his pizza. So Wheeler responded exactly the way you would think a 346-pound person react to not getting the food that he ordered, by punching the Domino's delivery guy right in the face. So the Wheeler guy, he didn't even wait for the delivery guy to walk up to the house. He met him at his car.
Yeah, no,
And
it's Domino's.
Right. If
Is
there was
that not
ever a
normal?
dude, apparently no, Billy, it's not normal.
Supposed to wait for him to come to the door?
And you gotta love the image of the 346-pound behemoth waddling down the driveway and immediately punching the dude through a rolled down window as soon as he told the guy that the garlic knots were back at the restaurant. Indian River County Sheriff officers arrested Wheeler for misdemeanor battery. Wheeler admits punching the guy, but for completely different reasons, unrelated to the garlic knots.
What do you think the driver said to him that led him to be punched?
What are you doing out here, fatty? I don't know.
Yeah, garlic knots. That's what you really need.
Here, I got your 4-liter bottle of Pepsi to go with it. And how exactly does a Domino's owe Wheeler money? Wait, what do you mean? The pizza chain owes him money. How did they owe him
Well, they
money?
forgot his fucking.
Oh.
If he charged you
Yeah,
for
I
garlic
guess
knots,
so.
you didn't bring garlic knots, you owe him money.
They did. What does it even say?
Oh, look at that. We distracted Tom
It doesn't even
from
say.
reading.
You really did.
Wow.
I was too busy trying to think of what the pizza guy said to him when he came down.
He said, "Well, did you come or what?"
Yes, it says he did come after the Domino's pizza guy brought back Wheeler's garlic knots. He came right in the driveway.
Tom's a creep. Tom is a weirdo. Where does he come up with the shit? It's so disgusting.
I'm guessing, 6 knots probably in a package there, right? Let's say 6 knots.
Sure.
The guy's going to meet the delivery guy at the driveway.
Yeah, at that point, he doesn't know that he forgot his garlic knot stuff.
Let's say Norm, the pizza delivery guy, had the garlic knots with him. Okay.
Norm.
How many garlic knots do you think this guy would eat before he got back inside?
Just on the way from the how long
From the
is
way
this
on the way
driveway?
from the car to the way back
all
into
of
the
them.
house, how many of those 6 garlic knots would be gone? You think he just empties the box? Empties the bag, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, right in the mouth. Right in the mouth. And
Wow.
it cracks open the 2-liter and sucks the bottle so it indents a little bit.
2-liter of cola.
Releases.
It's for a cop.
God. Don't spit in it.
That's, I mean, being somebody who back in the day definitely took advantage of the Domino delivery service. I don't think if our order was messed up, I would ever feel the need to punch the delivery person.
Bill, you want to weigh in here?
Well, I'm just enjoying the fact that we're picking on somebody who happens to be fatter than me somehow. So,
all right. Well, I mean, it's only 4 pounds. Let's relax.
I was always a Pizza Hut guy. I preferred Pizza Hut to Domino's.
Well, they didn't deliver.
I would say
Yes, they did.
Pizza Hut back
Pizza Hut
when
delivered.
we were like kids. It was,
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. It fell off a cliff though. I mean, it's bad comparatively what it was.
Nothing.
And March Madness time, they gave you the mini basketball at March Madness time. That was like the best. Always loved the Pizza Hut. And by the way, Nick, you romanticizing about the Rangers during that whole money talk section. I think we have room for you to come over to the evil empire.
That's going to do it for tonight's episode. Go to Twitch.
Absolutely
at
not.
friends_rivals. Give us a follow.
We are not even an hour and 30 in, and we have to read a review of the Friends and Rivals podcast.
What timing?
This is from obviously our shortest fan, who goes by the screen name Halloween Junkie. I have been looking for a podcast to fill my 45-minute drive home, and this tight 45 podcast, Bri, is just perfect. Too bad only one guy is smart enough to be a fan of a good team. Obviously, me. Enjoy listening every week. I even came.
Oh, wow.
Good job.
Age-old question.
Well, yeah, but now I got to know. Was it in the car? Obviously, it has to be in the car.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's got to be while he's listening. Yeah.
Does he come when? Which one of us talks, or is it just at the end of the show?
He probably is waiting until we ask the question. Did he come or what? Then
I feel like it's definitely in the car.
And they
definitely in the car. I'm just glad.
How much semen do you think is in that car? Oh, that's
not
a lot.
Much
that's
because
a lot
it's our shortest
every
fan,
week.
So I would think the release is proportional. So I would say not even enough to fill a thimble.
So you think he's not even pumping out a thimble?
No. Yeah, no. I mean, it's got to be proportional. I'm telling you.
He's definitely getting older too. So yeah, I can see that.
Just the thimble's worth dribbling out the end of it. No burst at that point. It's just glug, glug.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's almost 43. Holy shit.
Sad.
I mean, they've almost given up the first goal 4 times.
Wow, it's good to see their power play was clicking on all cylinders against San Jose.
Yeah. It's the second coming of Patrick Waugh in net for San Jose, gentleman by the name of Mackenzie Blackwood. So
he played well against the Rangers earlier. And even that Scott Wedgwood, another former Devil goaltender, playing well in Dallas.
Put him in front of a decent team, and look what you got.
Dude, he played well against the Isles. He had some nice saves.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this type 90. Don't forget to go in the Twix.
He'll be able to get back to work and home from work. One episode. Boom.
Right. Don't forget to go on the Twix at friends_rivals. Give us a follow. Go to wherever you get your podcasts and turn notifications for the Friends and Rivals podcast so you never miss an episode. Billy, say something, Woody.
We started late. We went long. So I just think at this point, I'm just going to sing y'all a real quick Dream Theater song, and then we're going to wrap it.
Oh, God.
Holy shit.
We don't have 45 minutes, dude.
Well, now that's a tight 45.
Just one song.
Intro.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Song.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh,